You're going to get comfortable?
No, I'm going to be taller.
I'm going to take a
Look
drink.
at how cute it is.
So now we're live. Now we're going. This is it, Ingrid. Ingrid's nervous, everybody, so we're going to take it out there. You were nervous when you did the podcast before?
That's correct, but that was like a year ago? I was your number 5.
Yes, very, very long time ago. You were the fifth episode, fifth guest.
I know, and that's a good number.
It is a good number.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing since then?
Fast
forward a year later.
No, well, actually, I keep only one job. Because actually when I met, it's like I was leaving the other job, yeah. So I just one job. I'm still doing the readings at Dancing Cranes Soul Fair on the Lasarte. Soul Works, yeah. And I come here to do readings at the As Above and Below here in Roy with Cici. Mm-hmm. Plus I'm still doing healing and readings at my home. That is in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess thank you everybody for tuning in. That's probably how we should have started. If you're joining us live, we appreciate it. This episode, if you're going to watch it later on, thank you for watching. And of course, you can eventually go to our YouTube channel and watch it there. And we're at As Above, So Below right now, the Summer Witchfest that's going on all day. So if you are watching this and you want to come down, you can join in on the podcast. And the festival itself will be taking place until 8 o'clock tonight. So it's a really good opportunity for everybody to come out and just enjoy the shop. There's so many wonderful things that are going on, right?
Correct, and also a lot of vendors, and we have readers, so it's a lot of things to check it out in here. And besides, the day is so beautiful that why not to take a walk?
It's warm though.
Yeah, but it's not, it's cute, it's good, it's good, it's good.
It is good.
And the other thing, going back what you were asking, I'm doing is I'm start doing a line of pendants and jewelry.
Nice.
So pretty soon will be the big thing. It's called Daughters of the Moon.
Daughters of the Moon.
Yeah.
Are you going to do like an Etsy shop and stuff like that?
No, I'm just going to have it locally.
You got to do like the Etsy's
you know what? I tried a long time ago, and it's a lot of people that they do that. So when you go and check, it's like saturated of that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it at the Facebook and then locally, and whatever meant to be, meant to be. To be honest, I just let it go like that.
Yeah. What are you playing with?
Oh, this is
Your
my pendulum. Yeah, that's my new one. It's my favorite one. Is onyx.
Can I see?
Yes.
That's very nice. You said it's onyx?
Yes, it is.
So tell people what onyx is when it comes to crystals and stones. Do you have an idea? I don't know.
Yes. Actually, onyx is a protection stone and also repels negativity. So in that way, the cleansing that you do after a session is not, you don't have to go all the way deeper because little by little it's protecting itself.
So there's this idea, okay? I think this, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with it. So you just described some spiritual characteristics of a stone, right? Something that it can help you with. And I think, and I talk about it all the time, I always tell people all the time where just because somebody says that or somebody uses that stone specifically or you read it in a book or it's traditionally used that way, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use it that way.
Correct.
Or that you're using it inappropriately or wrong or anything like that.
Correct.
Can you think of any stone that you personally like is traditionally used? You know, like maybe like rose quartz, for example, a lot of times connected with your heart chakra and it's used for all those type of aspects. But can you think of anything that you use specifically that maybe you don't use traditionally?
Actually, I can tell you that it's all my stones. Because basically what I do is what feels okay to do it now. No, let me see, this is a stone for good for this and that. It's just like, okay, that feels good to work with it. Something interesting is, I have the allergy, so my voice is changing. So they talk about that you need to put a lot of blue in your throat chakra. But last night I was feeling to put green. But if you make the connection, green goes to your heart chakra, and when our throat chakra is not active correctly, sometimes it's because we haven't said anything coming from the heart. So basically, it's all linked. But honestly, I believe that if this stone talks to me for, let's say, to work my grounding, and the book says that's not the stone, but this is the stone that is pulling me, use it. Because besides everything, yes, they have properties, but this is my healing, this is my use, and I have to click. It's no, I'm going to have a red one because the book said, and it's like, oh shoot, this one feels so uncomfortable. I don't like the color. So you mean the purpose?
So like out here in the shop, they've got a ton of crystals and everything. They've got a lot of wide variety of stuff here. And anytime I go anywhere where there's stones, and I went to San Francisco last year, in little Chinatown, whatever it's called, right? And one of the little shops there had tons and tons of raw stuff. It was just full of like floor to ceiling, packed underneath tables and everything like that. And anytime I go someplace like that, I could care less what it is supposed to do, or I don't even bother looking like at the crystal. Is it the Crystal Bible? Is that what it is? That
right?
Yeah. I don't look at any of that. I just go walk around and feel and see and connect with, and whether it's something that catches my attention or something that I end up picking up, and I usually pick it up and hold it as I'm walking around and continuing to shop and do whatever, just to see how it feels. 90% of the time, that's how I find my stuff.
I believe also that is what fits you, how you make you feel. Because remember, you're going to use it. And it's because the book said, yes, there is people that they like to go and follow that. That's good. But there is another people that we go more for the feeling.
Yeah.
So I think it's open. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I suggest that whatever fits you, make you feel good, go for it. Sometimes there is something in
That's
disguise.
a good way to live life, right?
On top of that,
good,
not just the stones, right?
So, oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you further. I won't be able to remember now. Remember just how it goes?
Talking about the fair.
I won't remember. I lose those questions.
That's okay.
I talk to them for a minute and then I get lost.
Maybe it comes and we'll come.
So a little bit later, we're going to have somebody come on and you're going to give them a live read.
Perfect. That would be good.
That's going to be exciting. It should be on in a little bit. In the meantime, how have you? Because we did the podcast a year ago. We used to see each other on a regular basis at Soulworks. It's been a while since we've kind of stayed in touch and kept connected. We've been busy, which sucks. But how have you seen? Because I think a lot of times, and this may be challenging for you, people I think don't realize that their life is progressing. They always feel like they're stuck, or they're continuing to repeat the same cycles. And so we did our podcast a year ago. You were on episode 5. How have you seen your life alter and change? And more importantly, I kind of wanted you to hit on how has the way that you work with energy shifted and molded and changed?
Oh wow! Actually, it has been changed really good. I developed more. The intuition is more open, but also besides doing just the card, is going more into the healing and into the teaching. So you just see most of my posts now is I'm teaching this class about the pendulum or about cleansing energy. I still do the readings because that's a part of me.
Yeah.
But also I've been expanding my techniques for balancing chakras has been big, huge change because it's not just the chakras, but it's also incorporated another methods of healing. How? Honestly, is whatever I receive. And the reason I know that is because I've been working with people that I used to work in the past, and they can feel the difference. Okay?
So, Ingrid's full of energy and she shut the phone off. Well, that's okay. We're going to do the best that we can. And in the event that our stream gets cut and interrupted again, then you're just going to have to wait for the full episode to come out down the line. Because we are recording that episode audio-wise, and people will be able to tune in and listen.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't remember what the hell we were talking about.
So we were talking about how it's my change of
Yes.
how I feel that I've been progressive. The other thing that I have a lot is more about, I use the cards, but less and lesser is getting more into the in tune of the energy to energy. And the thing to see spirits that I love that is getting stronger. Yeah.
In what way?
It's like I can smell that, not today because of course, but you know what I mean? I can smell that and I can identify. I've been very blessed that the universe sent me all these tasks little by little. So I can smell certain perfume that I know at least who in my family is doing that.
Very nice.
So
You didn't have that? I mean, is that something that's kind of developed?
It's coming stronger in the beginning of this year. And the thing is, like before, maybe I have a little hint, but then it's like, okay, you know, but now it's like, I think that it's put it in there like cotton balls. You smell, do you know what it is, no? It's a way of learning. Because that's my way of learning.
What do they call that one? It's not clairaudient.
I don't know.
Clairgustance?
Clairgustance, yeah.
The ability when you smell.
To smell, yeah. I
That's a
haven't
good
tasted
one.
yet. I don't know
I've
if
had that before.
Yeah, but I don't know, you know.
But I've experienced that in small spurts where you know I'll catch a whiff of it. It's not necessarily something that I like have on a regular basis or incorporate in any form or fashion. It's just the awareness that sometimes I've had that show up where I smell something that reminds me of someone or something else, or you know what I mean, and then it's pretty obvious that something's present or something's happening, something's going on in that moment.
So what I see the difference now is that before I say, oh, that remind me someone, maybe no, or I just put it on the side. But now it's more like I smell it and it's like in my head I have to know. So it's like I need to investigate. And until I find out deeper, it's like it disappear.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I was going to ask you because it reminded me, we were talking before we had to fix the live stream and everything like that. You said that you're starting to work more and more with the Hispanic culture and having bilingual sessions and things like that. When it comes to, in general, like the Latino and Hispanic culture out there, how open are they to the space in the realm of energy work and healing and tarot cards and all that other kind of jazz?
Okay, it's a lot. It's huge. It's more than I can expect it because traditional Latin American is very superstitious. Okay, and nowadays the people who move, I'm talking about the young people, is more open to energy work. They ask me if I do limpias, that limpia, if you can see, is like a cleansing or balancing at the end. It's just the word. And I say yes. And I try, believe it or not, to cleanse with an egg. I know. But at the end, if that works for the person who was across me, that is good. But in the end, you have, because I explain, okay, I do it with the egg. I read the egg means this and that. And then I incorporate the healing that she wanted at the time. So it's the two cultures emerging.
So you read the egg in a sense?
Yes, that was really good.
I think that, because I think this sometimes, like, so for example, you work a lot with cards, with tarot cards and different varieties of cards and things like that. And I think that it doesn't really matter what you spread out in front of you. If you have that intention and that purpose behind, this is my tool, this is what I'm using to access and connect with all the wonderful things that are out there. So, I mean, you could read almost anything in a sense if you think of it that way.
Because especially with the Latinos, when they ask you for the limpia and the egg, a traditional
with the what in
egg.
No, the
limpia is clean, clean.
Oh, clean.
Okay, so if you translate literally to clean, to cleanse, to heal, you know, if something is clean, it's heal for me. So they want to see that. Okay, so they can see, I explain, but before go to the egg, I do a reading to see if that is the more beneficial way to go. And they can see the egg, and then it's like I explained, because sometimes the older Latinos, they are used to that, and if I just come, let me balance you with the pendulum, and they will look at me like, what you are going to do with that stone, you know what I mean? But in that way, it's over there, I explain it, and then I'm able to use the pendulum and do all together.
And if I'm not mistaken, because I'm thinking back to when we had our first episode, and obviously we're friends and I know things about you and things like that, but can you guys hear me okay? Okay. If we go back to your childhood, you've worked and experienced and felt and dealt with energy your whole life for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And because of the way that you were raised and brought up, you had some like stigmas or some issues and some things that you had to overcome because of the culture that you were raised and brought up in, right?
Correct.
So fast forward now, all the way, now you're an adult, you're a grown woman, and you're still in that space, working with energy and doing things. Do you have those same, some of those same feelings, thoughts, emotions, those things from your childhood that still kind of get you stuck in the space now?
No. Actually, I use it, if you want to put it in that way, in my advantage to understand when some Latino come to me. So I use it and say, you know what, I understand we were raised in this way, and we go from there. But no.
It doesn't ever come up and catch you by surprise?
Yeah, but sometimes it's like a joke. You know what I mean? It's like you used to believe don't go under the ladder or things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like really what I was thinking at that point. You know what I mean? Now it's just a memory. It's something that I was growing in, that is part of the culture, but it's not ingrained on me.
That's so challenging though, because if you think about, like, congratulations, kudos to you, right? But I think that anytime we have things from our childhood, especially stuff that is so ingrained culturally, and in our families and the way that we were brought up and raised, some of those, because they're almost like thoughts and emotions that we process and feel even as adults, but yet have no applicable place in our life and what we're experiencing.
But also, I think it's important if you see individual people. Some people, they are more into stay stuck in the old ways. Some people is more into let's learn, develop for a better thing. I think all depends in your heart, in your soul. What do you want for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I've been asking questions. If I've been in that situation, what is the benefit? What benefits me and my family with this thought, and versus a new thought, versus incorporate something new. So it's more start listen to your internal voice, what works better.
Yeah, I totally understand. So if you have somebody, like, what would be maybe the best advice you could give somebody who can't even hear their internal voice? Do you know what I mean? Because you have to be able to hear it first and foremost, recognize what it is, and then start the practice of actually listening to it.
The first question I would ask is, do you want it?
Do you want it?
Because I believe, honestly, whatever I want, I can get it. But if I don't want it, doesn't matter that you put it in front of me, everything is there. I don't want it. I don't care. But if I want it, I find my ways to do it.
Yeah. So if they want it, great. Now how do they hear it?
How they hear, first of all, you start going in touch. It's like, number one is kind of to put your mind clear. I know some people say, oh, that's impossible. Okay, yeah, it is in the beginning.
Yeah.
So what you do is just doing exercise through meditation, to breathing, until you get to that stage. And then I suggest that just say to the universe, whatever your divine belief is, I'm here to receive. Instead to, you know what, I want this ABC. Oh, how come I don't have and so has it? How come I can read cards, but I want to do Reiki, like great, for example. Well, it's time that I'm thinking and be honored what I have. I can use the cards, thank you for that. And if you think that I will benefit with that, send them to me. So it's more to be more conscious for what I have, what I can use, versus the lack and the comparison with the other people. Or the business, if you want to put it. These people have 20 clients and I have one. But you know what? We talk about quality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's more, be in touch with you is also listen to your heart. I don't know, you haven't done this, but when you go to sleep, you know what I mean? And you just put you put yourself on top of the bed and you start listening to the heartbeat. That's the equivalent to listen to your heart. I mean, to your soul, to your spiritual side. It's like that. It's like we go to bed and we move around and we are so caught up that I've been asking, and it's rare the people that say, no, I haven't heard my heartbeat.
You have to get really, really quiet to
but
hear it.
but you know, that's the point. When you get in that quietness is when you receive all that information.
Did you hear your heart when you floated? Because I remember
Yes, that was the only thing that it was calm me down. I was so panicking to going into the water, and then when I start hearing my heartbeat, I start getting relaxed and relaxed and relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat in there, huh? Like
yes.
that was not one of the first times, but that's a really easy place to crawl inside that float tank.
Yes.
And then here, because undoubtedly you're going to right off the bat.
I know in the beginning it was tukun, 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 and then it was like, okay, little by little. That was a greatest. Thanks to you, I conquered another fear.
When it comes to fears, right? I think it's one of the big things that people, Steph and I were actually talking about this on the way up here today. So you have all these fears, and then I think it's important to step into the space where you kind of move past and through those fears in a sense, where you're not going to let them, stop you from progression. But then there's also times, because I think anytime we can move into the space where we're moving against resistance in a sense, where we're moving into the unknown, where we're moving into that space where things are changing and shifting and molding and everything like that, but it's very uncomfortable for us, I think it's a good thing. But I think there's also a balance where you don't want to step into spaces that are specifically, not necessarily dangerous, but that are unhealthy or that aren't beneficial, just simply because you're trying to, there's some fears that are good fears that you need to respect in a sense, but the ones that are more there, that keep you stuck in your own head, those are the ones that I think you have to move against and brush past and kind of into the resistant space where things feel uncomfortable and awkward.
I think that when you move out of the fear, I'm going to talk for my point of view. What I need to move out of here. You know what I mean? What that fear so far has been brought in my life. Happiness, unhappiness, and go from it. I know. I like to go and check everything. If it has been working, how come? What is the outcome? It hasn't working well. It's like, you know what? Fire burns your hand, right? So but even though you keep the hand on top of the fire and you're burning, we talk about self-love, self-care. The other type of fear that you were talking about, I think is more, I think we call fear because it's a word, but basically I think it's more like I'm cautious about it.
Cautious about it.
It's more cautious, but everybody talks about fears. So let's talk about fear, even that is cautious. It's sometimes the choice of word. Like, I'm so scared, and my fear is to use certain kind of drugs, any drug, okay? Not for that, I'm going to conquer that, right? But I'm cautious about it. I know already that people who do this drug can finish in this way and that way. Now, talk about fear. Let's say my fear going into the water, into that little pod, you know?
Into the float tank.
Okay, so I'm there outside with my rope, and it's like, should I run? But what happened if I run? And I looking at that, and I was like, I drove all the way here with Michael. Am I going to stop my happiness, my experience of this? No, the heck with that. And I went, it's like, all the thing. But this is what I'm saying. When you start thinking how this thing is beneficial or not productive in my life, you start moving out of the fear.
I agree. And I think it's a good idea that you take those little things. And granted, some people may have a much more difficult time. Maybe they have a very, very serious fear of water or something like that, or claustrophobia in closed spaces, all that kind of stuff. But I think if you can take those experiences of those little kind of moments where you can persevere and overcome fear and the things that give you anxiety and stress and things like that, so that when big things happen, when you have moments in life where you really have to change, sometimes even because of circumstances that are outside of your control, things just happen, and now you're stuck in that space where your life is changed. I think you have that experience and that that skill set that you've been practicing by all these little tiny things that you've been able to move through, that when the big stuff comes, it's much easier in a sense. It's still hard. It's obviously but
and the other thing is also that you need to recognize your achievements.
Yes.
Don't give it for granted, you know. Okay, I went maybe for another person, really you were scared and fearless to go into that water scene. Well, I conquered that. It's what important what I feel now, and I made it. And I can share my experience, and I can go again and, you know, little by little.
How often do you pay attention, and how often are you aware of what you've accomplished? Because I was talking earlier about how people, you know, it's been a year since we've kind of had a chance to catch up and chat and what's changed and what's different in your life, but when we get hectic and busy and crazy and we're just going and going and going, perpetually moving forward in life, I think we forget to stop and look back and recognize. We always look back and see all the shit.
Right.
Like we always look back and see all the difficult things that we've been through and the things that we feel like we're still stuck in, but we hardly ever stop and look back at all the wonderful, beneficial things that not only we've experienced, but the things that we've overcome and have accomplished. How often do you do that? Probably not very often, right?
And yes and no.
I have to consciously force myself to do it.
Like every night, I pray in my own way, and I give thanks for whatever happened that day. And I specifically like that. I don't say thank you because when I wake up, Sonny the dog jump on me. No, I just say thank you for today and for everything that I achieved.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, I doesn't need because I think the universe knows, you know. And now, deep, that you see it and you can see the picture there, maybe once a week, that I force myself to find that time.
Do you document in any way? Like
yes, I write it. Yeah.
That's a good way.
Yeah.
Like I'll go back and read some of my old journals and, you know, sometimes
I just have those index cards. I don't know why I like them. Instead, and I have notebooks and everything, but I mean, no, I like index cards.
You just write everything on index cards? That's convenient, though. It's easy.
Yeah. So, and I date it. I love to date it because you never know what happened, you know, in the future, and somebody can find those treasures.
Yeah.
So.
Steph, will you do me a favor and go find Rachel? Because Rachel's the one that's going to come sit down and get her little live reading so everybody gets a chance. First off, what kind of cards are you going to use?
Okay, this is my favorite one. Is called the Brazilian Voodoo deck. I know, it's very, the name. But, you know, I collect. I have like 100+ decks. And some I use for me, other ones are just decoration. So they are very old. But this one is the one, this is like the 4 box that I've been using. Because, you know, get damaged with the time.
Yeah. So that's like the 4th edition or the 4th time that you've got those cards?
Yeah, that I ordered the cards, yeah.
And what are they again? Brazilian voodoo?
Voodoo deck. It's based in the Orishas and the Brazilian tradition. I don't know that much about it.
Do you ever have clients or customers that sit down and have hesitation when you start talking about the fact that it's a voodoo deck, or at least that's what it's called in name?
No, actually no. I just, voodoo sometimes makes like a wow, you know, that it sounds interesting. But long time ago, I brought a deck in a fair, and that has naked pictures. I don't know, you know, Gustav Klimt. He's the author of the Keys, and actually he's a very famous. His thing was in the time that they start putting the gold era, and one of his characteristics is that he paints the old people very skinny, that you can see bones, and naked. And I remember I had this person in front of me, and the eyes went like wide open, and I was like, so I started talking about the author, you know, and I felt that person was uncomfortable, and I always have another deck at that time, and I said, would you like me to trade it? And this person say, it's very interesting, you know, and I'm like, yes, but if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, and actually she asked me to trade it. Another time I have a witch's deck that is, it's not that I just have naked pictures, okay, but that was, you know, the majority was like that, and this guy looked at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can see all the ideas that crossing his mind. So I explained, you know, we cannot use the cards, and but that wasn't the big issue with him. But the first person that was.
Yeah.
So this one is they are covered, and I don't know. I think it's.
Do you ever have cards that maybe it's a deck that you use on a regular basis, or that you're very comfortable with, and if you feel like you know what I mean, you work really good in conjunction with, and then the next time you go to work with them, it's not there anymore, and like, do you ever have a deck that suddenly you stop working with because you just kind of lose connection with it, or move past it in a sense?
Yes.
Why do you think that is? Like,
because what I could tell you directly is I have a deck, and that was back in the day, and I had something written there related to the card. So at that time, I was like, and that was very confusing. Even that was the name there, I was feeling something different. So this is when I start put it on the side, because this one doesn't meet the letters distract me.
Yeah.
You know, the other times is that what I believe with this is that you stop using cards is when you are more reliable doing just energy to energy.
Mm-hmm.
But also you have that humans like to see something tangible. And personal, I don't like to hold hands. Not just physically, but in all the way I don't like codependency, things like that. So it's hard for me, like, you sit over there. It's sometimes I say, do you mind if I hold hands? But it's very hard for me.
Why do you think that is?
I think because I perceive a lot. I perceive a lot here. Imagine if you hold hands, no? And I don't know, I like my space.
Yeah.
It's not that I cannot cleanse it, but it's my preference. Do you like coffee with sugar and cream, or you just like coffee black? You know, it's in a mug or in a but it's me too. It's the best. You know, but it's one of those things that you need to have a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Something that happened to me in a year is that when I use the pendulum, you know, basically pendulum is for yes and no questions, and start moving the thing, no? And suddenly I start having information about what is the no, what is the yes. And it's like, the first time I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Because this person is asking me a yes or no questions, but it's not very strong the yes. And the reason is, so I start telling her, I say, you know what, it's not that strong, it's yes, but not that strong because you need to do this, and that. And I was like, I just say that with this in my hand and the person there, you know?
Yeah.
So that's something very new for me.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So Rachel, come have a seat. So this is the part where we're going to do the live reading in case you couldn't figure out. You're okay. And you guys go with whatever, like whatever feels good, whatever, you know what I mean? As long as you need to, as short as you want, punch her in the face, it doesn't matter. Do me a favor, try to talk into the mic as best as you can.
Okay. Yeah, because this one is forgets about the mic.
I did a podcast before, so I remember.
Oh, no, here. Okay, so hi.
Hello.
So I read the cards and I use the pendulum for yes and no questions, and I also read the energy. I'm not your traditional tarot reader. So the only thing that I don't know is read your mind. So I will ask you to shuffle the cards how many times feels good for you.
Okay. Well, these cards are nice and broken. That's good. I need to break in a couple of my decks.
Okay, so what would you like to know?
I'm looking more for like all the health stuff that's going on with me.
I just let you know that I'm not a doctor, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I know what's going on. I'm just curious of where the direction that it's going.
So with what you have been diagnosed, you want to know what you are doing is the best choice?
Right.
strange when I have to read it side by side. So
Yeah, you're used to being across.
yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
You're doing great, Ingrid.
Okay. If you can get more answers, because it's like they give you information, stay a little bit, but they don't give you the whole thing.
Right, right.
And I suggest if you can just go ahead and find different people. If
Okay,
you go
so like
for
get a
the
second opinion.
second, third, and fourth,
Okay.
and basically you will not need to have it here. Maybe I see that you need to go to another place. I don't know, meaning you have to fly out of state, or if you live in Salt Lake, maybe you have to go to Provo, things like that.
Okay.
But it's not the local people that you've been seeing, has to be someone higher than that.
Okay.
Okay? The other thing is part of your illness, let's put it illness, okay? Part of what is going on, you have to go back in time. I'm not talking about your mom and grandma, but way back.
Okay.
Great grandparents, because they can be the beginning of the solution. I know, it's weird, because if you know honestly what they have or had, it's going to help for now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's a lot of things now that they are kind of guessing. I feel that it's like, you may have A, B, or C,
Yeah.
instead to this is what it is. That's the reason I have a strong feeling you moving away to find the answer.
Okay.
Okay? What else?
What? My animal oracle card set. I'm just curious what direction that's going. I've been working on it.
You are inventing one, you are created one.
Uh-huh.
So how that is going to be the outcome with that? With a lot of tigers?
No,
you have a lot of that energy. So no, that is good. Very protective, Very feline. That was what I was looking for. Okay. I think right now is not the time to start thinking about it. It's more like, okay, it's done. If you start doing the pictures or all the steps, keep going and now start promote it. But don't market yourself very narrow. It's like you're good in creating things, but then you restrain too much. It's like just in this area. No, you have to go and jump in the water and I don't know, be free like you are. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So it's going to be good, but you have to extend them over there. You are thinking a lot about money, that how much I have to invest or how much it will cost, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's the time that you just surrender to the divine and say, this is it. This is what I have, and I put it on. And then you will start counting a lot.
Okay.
The revenue is going to be good. And also, like suggestion, whatever you do it very legally. No, because the person or something like that you are going to trust, even though we are closer friends. No, we have to sign.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Everything, every little detail. Okay, and whatever you listen from outside, from people around you, just listen, but don't take it in consideration.
Okay.
Because you know already that this is working, and this is a good choice, and you are in the right path. So don't allow that people outside unbalance that, because that's what is going to keep going back, like stop you to go forward in the business.
Okay. Yeah.
It's time to jump in the water.
All right.
leap of
I'm gonna be a
faith.
tiger in the water.
Yeah.
Just play.
Yeah. With good calves, why not, right?
Right.
Do you have more questions?
No, that's like pretty much it. My health thing is like the biggest thing. So frustrating.
Because, if you are going to don't know, this is too weird for me because I believe in doctors, but they are good people, don't take me wrong, but it's not the only answer.
Yeah, well, all the things that they've thrown at me aren't helping.
And you know, if you work your energy, you know, you do healing with energy, and suddenly you put some pills, that's something that is not natural, of course it's going to make more imbalance.
Right.
So if you are working in the natural way, be conscious for whatever they give you as a medication. Because people say, oh no, it's just an herb, or it's just your energy working. But if you see when you move energy, alterates the matter.
Yeah.
And that is going to result in something else.
Right.
So be aware of the difference. And if you go to the doctor, I will take this, okay, and then you make the choice when you are at home, what is more beneficial, taking this pill or work on you, or somebody working on you to remove the blockage.
Okay.
Work with your creativity, your power and your heart. It's a lot of things. And the other thing is, I don't know, if you find someone who do past life, or you know how to do it, go for that, but cut it, that past life. It's like you already done, but you are still in between.
Yeah, that's funny because I was thinking about how I need to have the generational clearing, have the cord cutting and stuff, to do the healing past life stuff. Yeah,
and
I don't know how to do it. It's the one
I.
thing I don't know how to do.
You know, I believe that when you really need it, because you are thinking about it, will be good, and you are dealing with other things, will come to you.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very beneficial. Because it's like, you know, when we are done with certain life in our life, but it's still there. So it's like that chair that we cannot move, and we need to put a sofa, you know what I mean? It's like we crunching
We're
everything.
chained to it and dragging it.
Yeah. That's the same way. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes, those are my readings. I like to do metaphors and all that.
I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Rachel.
you.
Yeah. Free hug. That was awesome.
You have to let me know because I collect tarot decks, okay?
Yeah, I will. I'm hoping one more year. It's gonna be done. One more year.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
I want to hit on something.
Yes.
So, and Rachel's still sitting in the audience, so I'm going to kind of talk to you as well as people out there and all that kind of jazz. I personally think, so you're talking about medical issues and things that you have, and we don't have to go into details. I don't care about any of that kind of stuff as far as what's going on and anything like that. But I think anytime you have anything that's going on inside of you, obviously it's connected in some way, shape, or form to energy. Because we all obviously STEM, we all that kind of stuff, all interconnectedness. And so, but 99% of the time, I think that if you're having continual chronic issues and illnesses and pains and whatever the case may be, you have to get help with it. And doctors are great, like she said, you know, we don't have any issues with doctors, they're wonderful and everything like that. But also I think that stepping outside, especially because Rachel practices, you do Reiki, you do a bunch of other things as well, right? And a lot of times when you're a practitioner of energy work, it's really, really challenging to not just work on yourself, but also to then go out and get help from somebody else. And so I encourage you to go get some help and go find somebody, go get, you know, whatever, like you said, go get a past life reading, go find somebody that does that aspect
that
of it.
resonates very strong.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good stuff, and thank you. Thank you for sitting down. I mean, it's kind of awkward and weird and strange to sit and get your cards read on that.
Just great
I'm not
in a
awkward.
reading.
Yes.
Nothing bugs me. Pretty laid back. I'm glad that you had me on there though. It was awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Ingrid, give everybody an idea that just watched that and just kind of got an idea of what you do and
I'm sure he knows.
in a sense kind of what people do when they read their cards. What What do you feel like the process is for you on your side? What you're experiencing, what you're doing, right? She's sitting down kind of a blank slate in a sense where she's open and she's just wanting to see and receive and get whatever information's there. But what do you feel like is your obligation, and what is it that you're going through in that experience?
I don't have any obligation for beginners, okay? No, it's true. But what is my duty?
Yes.
Is basically I always compare myself with a straw. A straw? A straw?
A straw.
A straw. A straw. Is it again?
I thought you said a troll.
The troll. A troll too. Did I come too? No. So, okay, so it's with the straw because I'm here. It's my body, okay? Don't ask me how that happened, but you let the divine, the universe, whoever you believe, takes no possession but pass through the information. So it comes to me and I verbalize. The other thing is, and that's for sure is an obligation, tell the truth.
That's a hard
Okay, and be honest. I don't know, but you have the sense of the person that is that you are doing the reading, and you can say, you know what, are you open? Like people sometimes they, oh, I want a reading. They are not open to spirits, and then you have someone jumping there. You need to tell. You need to tell. And I say, how open are you related to spirits? Oh, I don't believe in that. Well, so I need to tell you this, you know? and I just go, and sometimes it's like, oh yeah, and other times it's like, but that's not for me. You know, they can use it later. The other thing is, I'm a bold person. I just, what I see, I said. And I've been learning little by little to don't be too broad, because not everybody is receptive in that way.
Yeah.
So I have to, you know, kind of sugarcoat it, a little bit more of honey there. And the energies start talking between me and the other person to another level that I don't know how to explain that happened. That sometimes something that I thought that was like a big thing to say is like nothing. You know, it's like, okay, so maybe another level we were talking to prepare for whatever comes to the mouth, from the mouth. So
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're going to wrap up so you can go back to work, because
thank
Ingrid's
you.
here at the fair as well. She'll be here all day. The fair's going on all day long. It's here until 8 o'clock at night. As above, so below. Roy, Utah. I don't know their freaking address. Do you know the actual address to the shop?
Well, not really, but it's next to the only liquor store in Roy.
There you go. So come to the liquor store.
1900 West.
Yes, whatever it is. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
But you can go online, obviously. You can go through our website, all that kind of different stuff, because they are a sponsor of the podcast. Thank you very much, Cecilia from As Above, So Below. And thank you, Ingrid.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
This is so
much
fun.
It's okay, baby. They'll find the address.
Okay, no, maybe you can put
Then
it
go to
the
their
card. You can put it there. Come on, use the video.
Yes, it's 5978 South, 1900 West in Roy, Utah.
And can I make a commercial? Please visit my website, my page on Facebook, Lady Luna.
Yes, and you can find her page through our Facebook page. You can
And
go to
vice
As Above,
versa.
So Below. I mean, it's, you know, guys, how Facebook and social media works and everything like that. And then you're at the Soulworks every week, not every week, every month. And then you're up here quite a bit doing stuff at As
And
Above, So
read is
Below.
at my home too.
Perfect.
3 days a week. No, thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Everybody, go out and have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day.